Did you get ready in the dark or something? 'Cause you look like a beautiful nightmare.
Hello Virgo, welcome to my channel. My name is Tessa. You're watching Tessa's Tarot. This is going to be your November 2021 Astrology Tarot update. So I'm going to focus on spiritual guidance. We are going to see exactly what messages want to be coming out for you for this month. There is actually a lot going on astrologically for November. There's a lot going on, okay? And I know I've also said that in other videos. I mean, there's always a lot going on, in all honesty. Every single month, I mean, it doesn't stop, you know, just because we created months and weeks and days. Like, the universe, the solar system, it doesn't really care about weeks and months and days, okay? But we do break things down based on month over here on this channel. So we're going to take a look to see what astrological events are going on for November based on the cards that come out through the Astro Soul Oracle deck, okay? Because there are so many different things that are happening, it just allows us to kind of focus in more on something that you need to be aware of or something that you need to know, or it could be something that you're dealing with, and just to get kind of further insight into that situation, okay? So you could watch this if you are a Virgo sun, moon, or rising sign. You will get information from this video that could be useful to you if you are any of those three things. However, I do just want to let you know if something specific does come up for astrology that where I kind of need to focus in to see like what particular house this is happening in. This message is going to be specifically to Virgo risings, okay? So like I said, this message could resonate with you if you're either one, if you're a sun, moon, or rising, but there might be specific messages that will only resonate to Virgo risings. So just kind of like, you know, toss it aside if it doesn't resonate with you and just keep watching the video, and I'm sure you'll get something useful out of it. Or you can just check a different you can just go check your other placements, okay? So just feel free to do that as well, okay? So I'm just letting you know, if there is a particular message for Virgo rising, then I will say that though, okay? So I will mention that. You guys are the second video that I'm doing, okay? I started off with Sagittarius and whew, like I really felt like that energy was pushing through that Sagittarius energy, and those messages were channeling through so intensely and so strongly. I'm really kind of glad I got that kind of out of the way and over with, because it was like building up and I was able to feel it. And now I'm just kind of like, I'm like kind of just in a better place. I'm feeling more like relaxed, a little bit more calm, and like, I don't know, like I'm just really like, I feel like I'm really going to enjoy doing your reading, and I'm really just like, I don't know, for some reason, like when after I pulled the Virgo card to see like who I was going to do next, like I just got a sense of, I got this feeling of like peace for some reason inside me, you know, like I just kind of got this like feeling of comfort, and I feel like, you know, so the way that Virgo and Sagittarius is similar is that you're both mutable signs. So both of you typically feel a lot of like different kinds of energy through you. You probably have a lot of energy, whether it's internal or external, and like your focus could be a little bit all over the place. Your mind could be a little all over the place. But Virgo, you guys are an earth sign, so you are more focused in reality, and you know, you are more grounded within those types of like chaotic energies. You think more practically. And although perhaps like you guys could be prone to like perfectionism and overanalyzing and like anxiety perhaps even, you know, and especially with like the day that I had yesterday, I had a really, really crazy day yesterday that I actually, at the end of the night, I did kind of break down and I had a bit of a episode. I had a bit of a panic attack, like I had some really intense anxiety. It was so intense, like I was having a hard time breathing, and I ended up just like breaking down and crying like on my way home from work because it was just so overwhelming. Like I just had such overwhelming anxiety. It wasn't anything where it's like I have to go to the hospital or anything like that, but I just like broke down. I didn't even care that I was around people. Like I just kind of like hid under my coat, and I just started crying. So, so for some, I don't know, just like pulling your energy for some reason, like just kind of brought some like peace into my heart. Like I was like, okay, like I feel like Virgo would understand me. But yeah, and I feel like I'd like to think that I understand you guys. Okay, so yeah, so the fact that you guys are, you know, kind of like a little more like down to earth and practically minded, it was just kind of like, okay, this is nice. Okay, so anyway, let's get into your reading, Virgo. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and start pulling cards from the Astro Soul deck to see what specific astrological energies are coming through for you and what messages you are needing to know. And then we're gonna go ahead and clarify with some tarot cards, okay? And then I'm gonna pull a oracle card at the end for like some final advice or a final message, okay? Also, just to kind of give you guys a heads up, if you did watch my last video, my mid-October Halloween special, I did read from this book, the Moon Phase Astrology book, and I hope you guys enjoyed it if you watched it. But I'm just letting you know that if I happen to pull a Moon Phase card from this deck, I really want to be as like open and thorough with my readings for you guys as possible. And I like really love playing like a little game of connect the dots. I love connecting energies with like other messages, and I love like connecting that. And this book is just so amazing in terms of breaking down the moon phases. So if we do pull a moon phase card, I will be reading to you from this book. It's only going to take up like 2 minutes of this video. I'm going to be reading about that particular moon phase from the book to give you guys more insight and more messages and, you know, like further in on what is going on over here, further in on the insight, and just be a little bit more like thorough, using multiple resources, things like that, okay? I feel like I would really enjoy that, and I think that you guys would really enjoy that because it provides more information for you, okay? So that is if we pull a moon phase card, okay? Yeah, but without further ado, let us get into this. What messages do we have for Virgo for November 2021? Okay, first card we got was Sextile. Okay, so if I pull a specific planet or zodiac sign, if I pull one of those cards out, following this sextile card, then I'm definitely going to take a look to see if there's going to be a very significant astrological event relating to this particular sextile in November, and we're going to break that down. But because there are many sextiles, like, I mean, throughout the month, there's always going to be like multiple squares. Like, so we're talking about astrological aspects over here. We're talking about when like specific planets come into a certain kind of agreement with another planet. It could be like a challenging agreement. It could be an agreement where it's like you have to make a decision. It can be like really difficult, or it could be really smooth, a really easy kind of agreement. So, okay, so this is what we call planetary aspects. And sextiles, like, it's just a certain aspect that allows like inspiration and creativity and like kind of like this this inspired kind of like magnetic like creative energy to kind of flow between two different energies, like two different planets or two different signs, and it can create like harmony, and it can create this kind of like beautiful kind of like energy. Okay, so because these aspects are constantly moving throughout the month in different ways, you know, it would be difficult for me to like actually get into every single one of them. And that is why I like using this deck, because it does allow us to focus in on certain energies, okay? But the fact that we did pull it, so we'll see what card comes out next. However, the sextile energy, I'll read what it says. It is when two planets are 60 degrees away from each other. Integration, cooperation, tools, skills, ingenuity, harmony, and empathy. Okay, so there could definitely be like some really, really good cooperation happening in your life right now, okay? It could be in regards to just like, you might have like the different areas of your life balanced out really well, like home life with like your relationship with your work, with your friends. Like things could be just kind of like harmoniously moving really nicely between different areas of your life, or it could be just maybe two specific areas of your life. Like things could, the cooperation that you have with your partner right now could be really, really well, or working together with people at your work could be going really, really well. Okay, so let's take a look, and like I said, I'm going to clarify with tarot, but we'll take a look to see what that's all about. Okay, so let's see what else we have for Virgo. Okay, oh my gosh, I'm going to take that. Gotta take those deep breaths. Don't forget to breathe. Messages for Virgo from the universe. Okay, we have the 11th house. Okay, so that's the house of Aquarius. Okay, I connected. Okay, so this kind of integration, cooperation, using your skills, harmony. Okay, so the 11th house has to do with like the greater connection, the greater network that you are a part of. So like your associates at work, your coworkers, your acquaintances, if you are perhaps like, maybe like you're more kind of, maybe friendships that are a little bit more distant, right? Or like friendships in other countries. So over here it says, this is the house of friendships, groups, and social activities where we are involved. It covers teams, friends, groups, society, technology, projects and social media, as well as originality, eccentricity, social justice, rebellion, and humanitarianism. Okay. Yeah, so there could definitely be like harmony in regards to like this area. Things are just kind of like moving along really nicely. I want to see what is going on in your 11th house if you're a Virgo rising. Okay. Okay, so if you are a Virgo rising, you have Cancer in your 11th house, okay? So you might actually really enjoy being like a nurturing kind of mother figure when it comes to these types of connections. If you're a Virgo rising, like when it comes to these more, you know, like just kind of like acquaintanceship and maybe like social media related, or, you know, more long distance connections. You could have like a more kind of mother-like nurturing quality when it comes to these connections. And you could really be using your tools and your skills to network as well, okay? So if you are, like, Virgo, I do kind of feel like you probably do already have like a good job, like, you know, you are providing for yourself, but I feel like for a lot of you, you're still kind of on this, you're still getting involved with your network of people, you know, you're still kind of like, you're still wanting to connect and network and see like how you can further like how you can further your skills, how you can use the tools that you do have with the people that you do know to continue to get ahead and to continue to, you know, kind of like move up, you know, maybe like in the social ladder or in the workplace, you know, or establish like more connections with people. Let's get one more card for Virgo. Okay, so just kind of like using your, using the information that you already have about people and, you know, the way that you think, like looking at this sextile symbol right over here, I literally imagine this is your brain because you are ruled by Mercury, and Mercury can be very like, you know, like you're just kind of, it's almost like this intellectual awareness, or like that takes place almost like on a technological level. And the fact that it's connected to Aquarius, I mean, Aquarius just kind of takes that Mercury. Uranus is known in astrology to be the higher octave of Mercury. So it kind of takes that Mercury energy to this like a whole other level, and it like turns it almost into this like spiritual, mental kind of like knowing, and it like turns your, it almost like turns your intellectual energy of the information that you intake from your surroundings, and it like transmutes it into this almost like intuitive alien like and it says over here empathy, into this like intuitive almost alien like sense of like just kind of like knowing your surroundings and knowing who to go talk to, knowing what like almost like using your intuition to really know which direction you want to go in, who you want to talk to, which way is going to bring you what. So that's super interesting. I like that. It's very like, it does kind of remind me a little bit of like a robot. I mean, like not, you know, but you watch those movies where like even robots have feelings, right? You watch those movies where like it makes you question, those science fiction movies where it makes you question like, you know, the ethics or the like morale of like even like technology, and like whether technology is actually able to have feelings. And like, I don't know, interesting. Maybe a little bit too deep to dive into in this video, but I don't know. Maybe I'll get into it one day. But yeah, it just kind of, it really just kind of approaches things around you from a more like heightened state of awareness kind of. Okay, and Uranus came out. Wow. So I am actually going to see if we have any major sextiles happening with Aquarius and Uranus energy, because I feel like there are. Innovation, discovery, individuality, technology. Okay. So this is also very significant to Taurus because Uranus is in Taurus. It is still in retrograde. But I do want to see where this is falling in your chart if you are a Virgo rising. But there could definitely also be like, and the reason why you could also be very much on your toes mentally in reference to like tuning into your surroundings and just kind of like gaining information in reference to your network is also because like things are with Taurus and Uranus, or with Uranus and Taurus, whatever, you know, the idea of long-term stability and financial growth, and, you know, like abundance and things like that is undergoing a lot of changes and unexpected twists and turns. And it does kind of feel like right now, I mean, I know in America and probably all over the world, there's still like a big question mark in regards to like where the economy is going to go. Like what are things going to look like, you know, 5 years from now? There's still this like uneasiness, you know, like where you really don't know what to expect. And you could be wanting to stay like 1 foot ahead. Like you want to be ahead of the game, you know, you want to be always like ready, you know. And I feel like Virgo, this is kind of like you're like, I almost feel like if anybody can do this really well, it's you guys, because you're in earth energy, but you're mutable. So like, you know how to go with the changes, you know how to adapt with like changing circumstances, but still think in a practical way, still think about like, you know, how to take care of yourself and how to like do things in a practical way. So this is really interesting, you know. I just generally speaking, I find this really fascinating because it's almost like with the state of the world right now and the state of things, especially with the Uranus and Taurus, I just feel like if anybody can really maneuver that really well, it's going to be you guys. Okay, so Uranus and Taurus is in your 9th house. House of Sagittarius is the house of higher learning, education, philosophy, belief structure, long distance travel, right? So long distance travel also has to do with other cultures around the world. Very much 11th house energy as well, if we're talking about humanity and like the collective and certain causes. You could be very much thinking about like wanting to settle down in another country. You could also be thinking about like, yeah, like just bringing your awareness, like bringing the information that you take into this heightened state of awareness. 9th house does all of that. 9th house is kind of like, you know, like PhD style shit, master's degree style shit, where it's like you're really taking the education that you have obtained to a higher level of like wisdom and knowing and understanding. And it's like, that's just like, I feel like that's just what's going on with you. But the fact that Uranus is in retrograde, this could be happening more like on an internal level, okay? So at the moment, like you could be internalizing this. Maybe you're not communicating it. Maybe you're not actually like speaking out on your like wisdom or the things that you see or the things that you are like realizing. And maybe just kind of keeping it more to yourself or like still kind of processing it, you know, and really trying to, you know, really try to make sure that what you feel and what you know is really what you feel and really what you know, like you could still be in a question of maybe like questioning yourself and not quite being 100% sure. Okay, now with that being said, before we jump into tarot, let me take a look to see if any of these sextiles... Oh, okay. I guess not. Okay. Okay, well, sextile Saturn in Aquarius. So the only thing that I'm really seeing as far as how it could possibly connect to astrology. Sorry, I just had to remember for a moment what sign you had in your 11th house, and it was Cancer. Okay. So connected to what we were just talking about. So on November 30th, so basically at the very end of November, on November 30th, Mercury is going to be in Sagittarius, and it's going to be sextiling Saturn in Aquarius. Now I know we didn't pull the Aquarius card. We just pulled the 11th house card and the Uranus card. But I'm just going to go ahead and kind of like explain to you like what that means anyway, because you might be able to get some useful information or insight from it and decide to, you know, I don't know, maybe test it out or something. So when Mercury, okay, so Mercury in Sagittarius is I actually have Mercury in Sagittarius. Like if we're talking about birth charts, I have my Mercury in Sagittarius in the first house, so I can really talk. I can talk and talk and talk a lot, especially about my ideas, because Sagittarius is just like, you know, like firing ideas, energy, creative, you know. Okay. So that kind of energy is super communicative, you know, like really wants to share their passion, wants to share their stories, wants to share their ideas, you know, their creativity. Saturn in Aquarius, hard-working energy, but like towards the future, like hard-working energy, but like innovative energy, right? Like to know the boundaries and also know how to step out of the boundaries, know how to use the boundaries in order to create a path to that can flow into the future and expand, you know, and expand an idea so that the future can become open to it. I don't know if that just made any sense, but like kind of like, so Saturn represents boundaries and restrictions, right? And it represents like our current construct, like our government, our boss, you know, like working, like success, your career, your social status. And Aquarius is like a little rebellious. Aquarius like kind of wants to step out of the restrictions a little bit, you know, they want to like think of the possibilities. They want to think of the future. They want to think like, how can things be different? How can we include more people? How can we make this product better? How can we make this product fit and be more like, and be more, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, you know, where more people will be interested in it, or like where it adheres to more people, you know, like you think more kind of like globally, you think more in terms of humanity and what humanity needs and what they want, and like just all around kind of like bettering the system, you know. And the only way that we can do that sometimes is to like push the boundaries or to question things or to like really, you know, maybe fight back and say how we feel. Like if our boss is saying one thing, we say, well, why don't we try it this way? Okay. So that's Saturn in Aquarius energy. So when we're sextiling Mercury in Sagittarius and Saturn in Aquarius, it's kind of like being really passionate about something at your job like some idea for the future at your job, and like expressing it and actually like showing your passion about this particular idea for the future because you really think that it can benefit your work environment. Okay. So that is a sex, okay, so that's how kind of like the sextile works, okay, so you just kind of like, you know, and it's like cooperation, you know, and it's kind of like forging that path forward, you know, so as you're kind of processing these different ideas and as you're kind of thinking about the future, maybe thinking about who you want to network with or who you're talking to, you know, you can definitely also consider maybe like taking that step maybe towards your initial environment at work and like, you know, trying your feet with your own immediate surroundings or like with your boss or like something like that, okay? So I hope that made sense, Virgo, and, you know, take it how you want it. If you want to kind of give that a go or not, that's up to you. But let's get into the tarot and actually clarify these cards and really see what's going on. Like, what's the story over here, okay? What is the story for my Virgos over here? I want to know what this sextile 11th house Uranus is all about over here. All right, so we're going to clarify the sextile card. You know what, though? When I was shuffling these cards the last time, the way that it came out, and now I'm wondering if it's going to do the same thing. Let's just see, okay? Let's see what happens here, because the way that it came out, it was like 3 cards flipped out all at once. No, that's too many. 3 cards flipped out all at once. 1 second. Sorry if that like startled you. I just really want to bring my camera back into focus. I don't have the nicest camera in the world. It's just a webcam, so, but I don't like it when it's not in focus. Yeah, the way the cards jumped out when I was doing the Sagittarius reading, they all flipped out. It was like 3 cards. And it was like a clarification of all 3 energies. It was just really interesting. It was really interesting the way that I received it. Okay, so one more card. Clarify Uranus. Did something just flip here? Guess not. It looked like it flipped. Either way, we're going to get this clarified, okay? We're going to get these cards clarified. We're going to see what's going on. All right, one more card, and then we'll jump into the other tarot deck for further clarifications. Further story unfoldment. Is that a word? Unfoldment? I don't think so. All right, one more card for Virgo, please. Clarify Uranus. What are these energies all about over here? We got sextile, 11th house, and Uranus. So far we have the 5 of Wands, and actually Sagittarius got this card too, the 5 of Wands, which is Saturn in Leo. And I find that really interesting, especially with it coming out under the sextile card, which represents cooperation, because the 5 of Wands is not cooperation. Okay, the 5 of Wands is not cooperation. So maybe there is some kind of like, there could be some kind of like conflict that's going on around you, and you, Virgo, are the one who is like tuning in and channeling this like inner sense of cooperation and harmony within you in order for like really paying attention, you know, like really kind of like keeping your eye on like the people who are creating conflict or creating drama. And I don't know, I mean, you could be judging them, you know, you could be like, wow, you know, oh, candle just burned out. Yeah, so you could just be like, you know, you could be placing your judgment on them like, wow, you know, like, you guys, like, what's wrong with you, you know, like, this is work. We're at work. Why are you fighting? That's literally the day that I had yesterday. Like, yesterday, it was literally a circus. It was a circus. I had to ride a bus with like a bunch of high schoolers, basically. Like, I don't know, high schoolers might actually behave better than how these people behaved. But I had to be on a bus with like a bunch of really, really, really rowdy people who wanted to like just do whatever they wanted and say whatever they wanted, and like, you know, and people were getting really pissed off. And yeah, that was definitely part of my anxiety story. So, and I was like, what the hell? Like, aren't we all trying to make money here? Like, why is everybody acting like this? What's wrong with everyone? Okay, so let's get back to your reading. Yeah, so this Five of Wands, there's some kind of conflict around you, okay? And you're like standing tall. You're like, I'm not gonna let this conflict bother me. I'm not gonna let these idiotic people just like, and I feel like there is like, there's judgment here, you know? There's like, you know, you're the transformer, Virgo. You're like the transformer. You're like the one who's just like, get it together. Judgment. Pluto energy. Okay, it's in focus again. Like get it together, okay? And also, yeah, like the fact that this is falling under the 11th house, it's kind of like what I said before. It's like you're looking, you know, like you are kind of judging your environment, okay? You're judging your network of people. You're saying like, nah, you got too much drama. Maybe I'll connect with you. Maybe, you know what I'm saying? Like you're really able to tune in and tap into like who is good for you and who's not, who you can contact, who you can establish some kind of professional relationship with or acquaintanceship with or friendship with, whatever it may be. It's like you're almost like, you know, like you are that higher force saying like, no, 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 no. Okay, you're good, you're good. You know what I mean? That's like literally what I'm getting from that. So, I mean, if that's not Virgo energy, what is? Yeah, I'm actually kind of eager to get deeper into this Five of Wands for the next clarification round, because I just really want to know what's going on. Like, what is this drama around you? What is this drama around you? Or is this internal drama? Or are you fighting yourself? You know what I mean? I mean, that could be a possibility too. That's why we have to clarify. Okay, and then we have the Six of Cups. Okay, so for those of you who are already in a relationship, it could be with your long-term sweetheart. I think that you guys might be thinking about resettling, like in a different country. Like you're literally thinking about like moving to a different country. Or you could be wanting to reconcile with someone who is far away from you. Okay. Because Uranus and Taurus, but this, I feel like this could be something maybe you're just thinking about, but you're not sure. Like you could have somebody just in your mind, you know, they're just kind of floating around really nicely in your mind, but you're not really like taking any steps towards it yet. But you have some like fond memories of this person. This person could live far away. Maybe you're thinking about visiting this person, and it doesn't necessarily have to be like a romantic partner or lover. It could just be like a friend, you know, from high school or college, but like you remember really good times together, and maybe you're thinking about like going out and like visiting them. And I'm saying that for you Virgo risings out there who have Uranus in your 11th house, in your 9th house, I'm sorry, who have Uranus in your 9th house. Do you like my crystal ball? It's still unfocused. Why? Focus. 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 Ugh. Do I need to wave my sage? It's not sage. It's actually pine needles. It's pine. Come on. Okay, well, I hope you guys enjoy a blurry face because I'm going to keep going. And I'll try again. Maybe because the candle burnt out. Remember when I said, there we go. See? It's because I'm changing the candle. I'm lighting a new candle. Because the candle literally burnt out when judgment time came. When the judgment card flipped out, the candle burnt out. And I was like, oh, Virgo's making their rounds. Shit. Okay. you know, either that or you're like judging yourself very highly for something. But like I said, we have to clarify. Yeah, so some kind of reconciliation going on here with a past person. There could have been, if this is a past love situation, there could have been a lot of like unpredictable, there could have been a lot of instability in the relationship, okay? Especially with it falling under the Uranus card. And Taurus represents stability. Uranus is like the opposite. So there could have been a lot of unpredictable kind of energy between you and this person, but you still have some like fond kind of like memories and feelings about them. So let's clarify. Let's get into this and see what the modern spellcaster's tarot says. I don't sing, but that was an interesting voice that just came out of my mouth. Maybe I could sing. Maybe I could be in the choir. I would love to be a priestess. You ever think about that? I used to actually kind of fantasize about wearing those like nun, like being a nun, but not like a celibate nun. Just like this cool, badass, like, I will fucking curse you with God kind of nun. Like, I just feel like priestesses are so cool. Okay. Yes, curse you. I will curse you with my God. Let's clarify the Five of Wands. I mean, what's a tarot reading without some personality, huh? Come on. Come on now. Okay. Five of Wands. All right. What is this? What is this drama all about? I need 3 cards. What is this drama all about for the Five of Wands? Let's help my Virgo out over here. What is this drama all about? The Hermit. That's so crazy, because not only did Sagittarius pull the Five of Wands, but they pulled the Hermit for the first clarifier. Okay, well now we're getting into your reading. Okay, so the Page of Swords. So the Hermit, that's Virgo energy. The Page of Swords, that's air energy. So that's Libra, Aquarius, and Gemini. And the Ten of Wands is Saturn and Sagittarius. Okay, so this is more of, it looks like this is more of an internal battle. Or, okay, I mean, it's still not really clarifying if this is an external drama or like an internal drama that you're just trying to kind of like figure out within yourself, because there's still a possibility that this is an external drama and you're still trying to just keep to yourself. Okay, like you're just like witnessing this external drama, but you're just staying focused on you and you're just trying to get a clear perspective with this Page of Swords over here about what the heck is going on. Or like, you know, like figuring out within you, like how you want to respond to this, or even if you do want to respond to this, or like just trying to like, yeah, like kind of, soak up as much information as you can, like intellectually, right? Like logically, like you're trying to think about it logically. So you're not like, you're not taking sides, okay? If this is a drama that's going on around you with a bunch of different people that you know, like you're not taking sides over here, okay? And that's like where that's where that cooperative, in like, integration, and like this is where your tools and your skills and your ability to harmonize are coming into play, because you're able to kind of like step out, like step aside, or take an objective view, or just kind of like take a step back with that Hermit energy, kind of keep to yourself and maybe think about things objectively, you know, or think about things like more like logically. Okay, this energy is very logical. Hermit, Page of Swords, very logical energy, very rational, you know, not letting yourself get caught up in emotion and feeling and just like, you know, just like getting involved in the sake of drama just for the sake of it, you know, like you're really kind of taking like a backstage kind of approach to this, whether it is internal or external. Like if this is internal conflict that's going on within you, you're not letting it control you. You're not going to give it any room to like explode into this outward kind of energy. And instead you're thinking about it very rationally, very logically. You're really kind of trying to like place your feelings. The only thing that I have to say with this 10 of Wands coming out over here is that it might make you feel overly burdened, you know, like trying to kind of grasp what's going on and look at things from different angles could actually burden you at the end and could actually make you feel even more overwhelmed than you did in the beginning, because it's like maybe you're trying to figure it out. You're trying to like learn what's going on, but like you can't because there's so many different sides to the story, or there's so many different pieces that you have to actually put together. And it's like, you have a life. Who's got time for that, right? So instead it's just kind of like creating this like inner pool of like worry and just kind of like, you know, you might feel like extra overwhelmed or extra tired at work if this is something that's happening internally. Like I said, it's happening internally regardless, because we're talking about you. But the actual conflict could be an external conflict or an internal conflict. So I hope that's making sense. The actual drama could be an internal drama or an external drama, but the going within is that's what it is. It's you still going within about it, and like kind of like it's almost like you're swallowing your feelings. You're like burying your feelings in a way. So, yeah. Let's clarify judgment. Let's clarify judgment, please, for Virgo. Three cards, please. Okay, so for judgment, we have justice. I like that. Libra energy. We have the 8 of Wands. Okay. Mercury and Sagittarius. And we have the Queen of Cups. Cancer energy. And this is falling under the 11th house. And you have Cancer in your 11th house. See, I love it when this whole, like, connect the dots thing really just starts to connect. And we're talking about the 11th house, which is I connect. See? I know, I'm really goofy. I'm such a nerd, it's unreal. I'm such a nerd. Okay, so let's connect the dots. Okay, so for judgment, you have justice, you have the 8 of Wands, and you have Queen of Cups. All right. So I do kind of feel like there is something that you're fighting for. Okay, there is some kind of truth that you're fighting for, and you know you are fighting for balance and harmony. Generally speaking, you want balance and you want harmony and you want justice, but you do have these really strong feelings about something in particular. You do feel very passionate about something in particular. And you do, I think, really want to communicate this, just like the Mercury in Sagittarius. And perhaps that is why the end of November, November 30th, might be significant, because you might end up feeling like, I really want to communicate this. I really want to say this. It is under judgment. But you have to understand that justice is not just about keeping the peace. Like it is about harmony. It is about keeping the peace, but it's also about fighting for what's right. It's also about like justice about like sometimes you have to fight for peace. Sometimes you have to fight for harmony. Sometimes you have to communicate what you want in order to achieve that, in order to get that. Perhaps the environment that you're in right now is not harmonious, is chaotic. there's a lot of bullshit going on, and maybe you need to fight for like your justice. You need to fight to be like, this is out of control. I don't understand why this is like this. What's going on here? But you're coming from a place of love. It's like you're still coming, like Cancer energy is a very emotional, nurturing, and like intuitive and like mother-like kind of energy. But the Queen of Cups, and the Queen of Cups is kind of like more receptive as well. They usually like to kind of like hide behind their, like, they're a little bit more dreamy. They kind of like to hide in their imagination. But the Queen of Cups, but there is another side to Cancer energy, okay? Because you also have to think about the Chariot. So the side of Cancer energy that is very expressive, like, because they're ruled by the moon, and the moon undergoes many different phases and feels different things every day, right? So it is kind of like riding the phases, right? It's like riding your feelings and the phases of your feelings. Now, of course, the Queen of Cups is a little bit more stable. So it's like, okay. So it's like you're wanting to communicate something really bad. You're wanting to communicate something that you feel really strongly about. And this could also be like another person. You could be wanting to communicate to another person, or to, like, there could be an energy around you that's too quiet or too receptive, or like isn't really taking a stand, and you're wanting to like say something to them, and you're wanting to communicate something to them. Or you're trying to figure out how you can like use a more sensitive, how you can like approach the situation from a more sensitive, loving, nurturing kind of way, especially if for Virgo risings out there, because you do have Cancer in your 11th house. And if this does have to do with like your network of friends or a certain network of people that you're connected to, you could really be wanting to step into that power of like showing, like coming from a place of love and concern, but also like being very clear about what it is that you want to say. Because what you want to say is really powerful. It's really powerful. It's really like true to you, and it's true to like your own sense of peace and harmony and justice. And it's like, it's true to like being able to create that harmony in your environment and within your group situation, whether it's a work situation or a friendship or a group situation, okay? Or like social media, or like your greater network of friends. Okay, let's clarify the Six of Cups. Okay. Whew. This is an interesting reading. Okay, so clarifying the Six of Cups, we have the King of Pentacles, Taurus, the Knight of Wands, Sagittarius, and the Five of Pentacles, Mercury in Taurus. For those of you who have someone that you do want to reach out to from the past that you possibly want to reconcile with or communicate to or like get together with, it's like you are feeling this sense of like strength and stability, and you do feel perhaps like a passionate desire to go towards this person, especially if you also view that person as someone who is strong and stable and like very put together, like they have their career. Okay, so if this person also has a very stable, like they have that Taurus King of Pentacles type of energy, and you're wanting to move towards them, there's also this feeling like you are kind of afraid of being rejected, or you feel like because there was a lot of unpredictable kind of energy in the past, there is kind of this feeling of fearing, like you're afraid that you might get rejected. Or you're afraid that things between you are just not going to end like good with the Five of Pentacles over here. There could be too much like idealism attached to this connection, or too much with Mercury and Taurus, like not enough groundwork, not enough foundation building, not enough of that. It could be more of a mental connection. It could be more of like a it could be more based on like idealism and, just kind of like fantasy, although fantasy would be more like Seven of Cups energy. Just kind of like, it could also be not realistic to you, especially if they live far away. You might think that it's not very realistic. Yeah, so it's like, you might be thinking a lot about like the negatives, like of why you shouldn't reach out to this person, or why you shouldn't go out, why you shouldn't move towards this person. And that can have a lot to do with the fact that Uranus is in retrograde. So like I said, the Uranus and Taurus energy in your 9th house will take a little bit more of an internal energy. So you'll be a lot more reflective about it. You'll question things a lot more, instead of actually like take action like the Knight of Wands typically does. The Knight of Wands will typically take action. You might question this desire a little bit more. Okay, you might question it a little bit more. And I do kind of generally speaking, I do kind of get that energy and that vibe from this reading with all the fire energy that has come out, with the Five of Wands, the 10 of Wands, the 8 of Wands, the Knight of Wands. Like I do kind of get a feeling like you're kind of questioning that energy a little bit more. And I feel like that has a lot to do with or being more careful. You're being a lot more cautious. You're questioning it with how you use that type of energy. Perhaps only like perhaps only using it and focusing it on like the truly important things, or the things that you feel are truly important, which has to do with like your own sense of peace, stability, harmony, justice, things like that. Let's see, before I pull the final oracle card and we wrap up this reading, I want to see if there's anything else in here. Because it does kind of look like it looks like there might be like two different situations going on here. And it could be for like two different groups of Virgos, or like Virgo rising and then, like a different Virgo energy. Or some of you could just be dealing with two different situations, like if you're single, you could be dealing with a work situation, and you could be dealing with like a situation that maybe you want to like reconcile with, or come together with. Okay, I'm going to pull an oracle card. I'm not really getting anything else. I think I pretty much said everything in regards to the cards that are in front of me and how they relate. It's like overall for you Virgo risings out there, if you are overly burdened and if you are kind of like thinking a lot, if you are overly burdened, I feel like you're gonna like you're still gonna remain you're still gonna have your composure, especially if this is in regards to like the greater network of people that you're related to. And I guess like this reconciliation type of energy could be kind of connected to that network in some way. You know, especially if you end up playing connect the dots. But, you know, even when it comes to these negative energies, like the Five of Pentacles and the Ten of Wands, like these like burdened, and also like with the Five of Pentacles, like maybe thinking like badly, like, oh, well, that's not going to work out, you know, or like, you know, or maybe like even you yourself not feeling worthy. There's also a possibility that you don't feel worthy enough. And that can have a lot to do with that retrograde as well, just kind of like making you question your own sense of self-worth. It does look like you're going to come out of it. It does kind of feel like this Queen of Cups energy is going to really like come through, you know, where you just take care, you're just taking care of yourself and your own emotional needs, your own emotional stability, because like ultimately that is what's going to be important for you in order to maintain harmony among this circle, among this larger connection, these connections that you're part of, that you're like, okay. You know, or you might decide to approach it from a completely different perspective and kind of take on more of that role, that kind of like mother-like figure, nurturing figure, and just kind of keep paying attention and keep using your intuition to what's going on around you until something just feels right, you know, until something just feels right. Okay, so let's pull a final advice card from the Enchanted Map Oracle. Final advice card for Virgo. I almost said Cancer. Final advice card for Virgo. Oh my God. Yeah. I don't know. This is crazy. I don't know if you guys are connecting with the Sagittarius or if you have a Sagittarius in your life, but like Sagittarius got this exact same card. Like, what are the chances that the first two signs is going to pull the exact same advice card, an oracle card at the very end? So you got flying. Okay, so flying, and the crazy thing for you guys though is that like I kind of relate this card to the Fool in tarot, right? The Fool is the major arcana 0. The Fool is all about taking a chance, taking a risk, taking a leap of faith, and just kind of like opening their arms up to the universe no matter what it may bring, right? And just kind of going like, I'm ready to learn. I'm just going to let go and I'm just going to jump and I'm just going to do this and just see what happens, you know, just like learn along the way, like take a leap of faith, but also have fun, enjoy life, you know, be happy, like find what makes you happy, find what brings you joy, kind of like being a little kid again. And the Fool card is represented by the planet Uranus, okay, which is very like unpredictable kind of energy and very like you don't really know what to expect from them, okay? So your advice is to kind of like maybe step more into this powerful kind of energy, step more into your own like unpredictable nature, or like step more into your own joy, you know, and ability to adapt to situations and like you know, or to take a leap of faith or just like reach out to this person. Like, what's the worst, you know what I mean? To just like take a chance and like message them or text them or, gosh dang it. Yeah, like message them, text them. Or like you might take a leap of faith towards like your person at work and like maybe suggest a new idea or really express your passion about something in particular. Generally speaking, it's just about like jumping, right? It's just like jumping and just going and just like releasing, okay? Like releasing the burdens, like letting go, you know, like speaking on your ideas, maybe like reaching out, even if you are scared, even if you are afraid of being rejected, even if the connection doesn't work out, like, let's just take a chance, you know, like, let's see what happens. It's kind of like more like following your bliss, like just following what makes you happy. Like, what's going to make you happy in this moment? Just do it, maybe, you know, just do it. Because it does look like things are going to cooperate for you, okay? It does kind of look like, you know, the universe is kind of conspiring in your favor to kind of keep, especially with this 11th house energy, which does represent your network of people and the network of groups. So like basically everybody that you're connected with, it's kind of like saying like it's kind of conspiring to keep things like harmonious anyway, and to keep things inspired and fresh and like integrated and cooperative. It's already kind of like doing that, okay? Like even if things do kind of come up a little unpredictable, and even if maybe like there are little moments of chaos or just like not, I don't know, like drama or something like that, it's kind of like, well, the universe is still going to continue to try and create harmony and balance anyway. So you might as well just enjoy yourself, like, while you can, type of thing. Okay, so that's kind of like the vibe there. So this is your reading, Virgo, for November 2021. I hope you enjoyed it. You kind of know the cue. Leave a comment if you want to, like, subscribe, you know. Hopefully you stick around and stay tuned for what I have coming next on my channel. So until further ado, bye.